Hello there, human beings. It's your girl, the human embodiment of your crippling depression, Trinity. Woo! And today I'm going to be doing a little look through of my 8th grade and a tiny bit past 8th grade mixed media journal. Ooh. So there are some cringy little sketch disaster things that look terrible, and then there's some other things that are like, I did that? No way, I have talent. Anyway, let's get on to the video. So to get started, this is a Strathmore mixed media journal, and I got it at the beginning of 8th grade for my art class. So on the first page we have these little sticky notes from my art teacher just saying things like, oh, this is what you did well, and these are things that you can improve on and how to improve on them. Right next to that is this. Now this is before I ever went to art class, and that's why it looks terrible. And do you want to know what looks worse than this? This looks terrible. I had no idea what I was doing, but I think that's the most beautiful thing I've ever drawn in my life. On the next page, we just have a page of ways to improve your sketchbook, which I didn't follow. And then we have little sketches that I made in art class of just different objects and stuff. On the next page we have a picture that I drew of Melanie Martinez, and her arms look really skinny and her nose looks really bulky. But overall I think this is the best body I've ever drawn. And there's like smudges and stuff from like the next page because I'm not a professional, and for some reason I've never sealed any of my pages. So, and then on this next page we have a drawing of a knife. On this next page I have a sphere. I think this is one of the first spheres that I ever drew. And on this page we have little flowers. Right here is another sphere, but it's rainbow. Now I just felt, like being unique and creative, and this is how it turned out. On the page after that, we have this little outline of a wrench. And then we have two more spheres right here. One is blue and one I did with my charcoal pencil, which, fun fact, I hate charcoal pencil. So now on this page, so this was the second day of class, and that right here, this monstrosity is the first sphere I ever drew. And then I did one again in colored pencil, and it still doesn't look that good, but it looks much better than that. And then we were like practicing on how we can get different variations of the same color. And the next page is some more shapes and stuff that I drew in class, and I got much better at shading there. Then this is an unfinished piece of art, which I'm judging by the way it looks would have looked terrible if I finished it, so And then on this page I also drew this for homework. Now this page was where I discovered stippling. I love stippling. We were practicing with our fine point pens, and I learned that I'm terrible at hatching and cross hatching, but stippling is where it's at. Also, I made this little thing because my friend said swing saw, so this was my thought when they said swing saw. They got really weirded out by me. So on the next page we have this, which, can you guess who this is supposed to be? It's supposed to be Margot Robbie. This does not look like Margot Robbie at all. Is bad. Now, on this next page, this page was themed after a few guys that I had a crush on at the time. But, this is that page. Wow. You can see this guy, he has the face of one of my ex-crushes that used to actually like me back, and then this is the shirt of one of the guys that I kind of like half liked, and this is the hat of the guy that I was like really upset over. And then we have this cloud just like filled with little like things and like objects that remind me of those people. And then we have little tear droplets, and then that's supposed to be my crippling depression. And in the words it says, "I put you high up in the sky, and now you're not coming down." Because I listen to Wrecking Ball all the time, and I was like, this is how I feel. Girl, no. I did this next one in class, and it looks scary. We were getting prepared for a project that I did, which actually the project ended up looking really good. Insert photo here. But this looks really bad. Then once again, I tried to practice, and I chose Jessie Page, which if you know Jessie Page, this isn't the exact picture that I chose to do, since it was supposed to look like this photo, and it ended up looking like that. And then on this next page, we have this little doodle that I did in art class. And then we have this other little drawing that I did in art class on the same day. And then we have this other picture that I was thinking of doing for my Jessie Page, half photo, half ink thing, but I ended up choosing something different. Now this is something that I'm really proud of. I had to draw myself like I was, living in a different decade. So I drew myself in the 1930s, and I had like half black, half blonde hair at the time, so that's why it looks like that. And then I have the little outfit, and this skirt took so long since it's like little stipples of like black ink, and to get these dark like contrasting colors, it takes forever. Also, I have this unfinished piece of art, and I just had no time to finish it that week, so it just never got finished. It would have been really pretty though. Now on this next page, we have a picture of a rose and then my drawing of it. On the next page, I had to do the same thing, but with a picture of a little bird. And then on this page, we started getting into different fonts and stuff. And I got bored and drew this little Tim Burton looking disaster. Now this page right here, this is one of my favorite pages in this sketchbook, because it's just filled with a ton of different little fonts that I did without tracing with a pencil. Like, I had to put some hard work into this. This took hours to do, so yeah. And then on the next page, we have some like fails from practicing in class. And then we had to do like this thing where it was like supposed to be something completely different than I made it, but it ended up looking like this. And it's a quote from the 21 Pilots song Message Man. It says, "You don't know my brain the way you know my name." And I drew it like this, and the teacher said, "Oh, this looks great and all, but like it's not the assignment." So, and also I was gonna do the next line, but I ended up not finishing it because I had a ton more homework, because I'm really bad at procrastinating. So on this page, I did a little watercolor thing, because this was the first time I had ever like worked with watercolor. And I mean, like, it's not terrible, but it's not great at the same time. but we were preparing to do a little fingerprint project thing. I'll insert a picture of the finished result here. And then also for that, I swatched a ton of different watercolors. And this is a bunch of quotes that I considered putting on it, but I ended up narrowing it down. And you know, it looks goodish to me, so you know. This next page. Ooh, this next page. So this was the last day of school before Christmas during 8th grade, and that day we had our Christmas party at our school, and then I went home to some pretty awful news, and it caused me to just feel empty for a while and caused me to just dive right into a bunch of depression and anxiety and a bunch of emotional crap that I did not want to be, you know, a part of anymore. But you know, it's just part of life. Pain is part of life. But I drew this, and the balloons are to represent the fun party that I went to, and then this dark cloud is the upsetting things in life just coming to ruin any happiness that I had at that moment. And there's not a lot of depth to the photo, but I still really like it, and this is a really deep and emotional and meaningful page in my sketchbook, so yeah. And then this next one is also unfinished, but I was going to have like a little person, and then this was going to be like the dark cloud. And I drew this at a point where I was trying to let go of my feelings, but at the same time I felt guilty for getting over that really devastating thing so quickly, so I didn't want to get over it. But then we were doing some color wheels. This is my pastel color wheel. And this is my colored pencil color wheel that I had at the time. And then this is my watercolor color wheel, and there's a bunch of like swatches for different like colors there, but you know, this is the color wheel. This is the page that my teacher handed us out to begin our next like assignment that we had, and I'll insert a picture of it here. But while practicing for it, I went into detail, clearly, and I did some like really good shading here, and it was like lungs, and it was saying all the different parts of the lung. Since I had already put like way too much effort into it, I scanned it on my computer and traced it for the actual thing. And then I just made this fun little thing in class, and then we were starting calligraphy, and when they say start it from the bottom, they mean low. This page looks bad, but in the next page it's like bad, and then you're like, oh, it's still kind of bad, but it's a bit better. So I definitely think I got better at it, but you know. And then on this next page is just the little doodles and crap. And then we have a ton of swatches of different watercolors. So on this next page are a bunch of really ugly swatches, because this is my first time trying to figure out skin tones. And you want to see the disaster that I made with that? I made this. This is disgusting. Watercolors aren't supposed to look like that, you know? But, you know, before, like, you just judge my watercolor skills from this, I've gotten better. This right here, that's my favorite piece of art that I've ever done, and yeah. And then on this next page we have different like watercolor like things that you can do that look cool, and then we just have some more of that. Ooh, this. So while we were in class, our teacher made us listen to like different like orchestra music, and we had to draw what we envisioned. So this one was for the Dirty Orchestra, it looks dirty indeed, and muddy, and strangely something that like I think I would find while watching Fantasia. And then while listening to The Planets, I didn't know that it was called The Planets. I just heard it and I was like, this reminds me of pirates. Let's draw a freaking pirate ship that looks like trash. And then we were listening to William tell the overturn or something like that, and I drew this with watercolor. And then while listening to the Nutcracker, I drew that thing. I don't know what you would call that, but I drew it. And then on this page, we have a ton of spheres and stuff. And I did them in like a bunch of different colors. And then on here, I was preparing for another project, and I was originally going to do a little planet thing, but then I overheard like several other girls being like, I'm gonna do planets. So I was like, we are gonna do something else then. And then this was me practicing for that something else, and honestly this looks pretty cute. I'll put a picture here of what my finished project was, but yeah, this was me practicing. And then we have just some more swatches, and then we have this pear that I made while watching a video. I don't know, not something that I normally would draw though, so I don't really like it. And then I have this picture of a cat because I did a project with pastels that were like cats that looked like this. So I'll insert a photo of what that final product was. And then we were doing random crap with like pastels, so that's what that is. And then we have even more of those random smears of pastels. Like this random smear was the last like actual drawing that I actually made in 8th grade. Oh, wow. And this was my attempt at a self-portrait. I don't see it. This does not look like yourself, Trinity. And then I was trying to draw a body, but I drew it upside down, so. And during the summer, I was like really bored, and I was like, why don't I try to find my own style? So here are some swatches of like skin tones and stuff, and then here are little sketches and stuff that I did. So this one's good, but like really plain. This one I did purely out of my own hand. Like I did that without looking at any reference photos, and she just looks so exotic and pretty, and we love. Okay, and then this was again a self-portrait thing, but it looks bad. And then I tried to do this with my sister, which honestly looks pretty cool. Also, I did this freely with like some, you know, hints of like these two, but mainly that was my own stuff. Oh, I also gave her a name. So this is Angelica, and then this is Megan. This, okay. So my dad has this friend, and he wrote a short story, and he was wanting me to make a drawing for it, and this is what I came up with. I'm not proud of this. It looks like I don't even know what it looks like. It's just gross and muddy, and I hate it. Now this next page, I drew this little character named Logan. I was planning on filling this entire page with like different like sketches of like different characters that I'd come up with, but this is apparently what I envisioned for Logan, and it for some reason looks like she has like two like dreadlocks and stuff, but those weren't supposed to be dreadlocks. She was supposed to have straight hair, but every time I try to draw straight hair, it ends up curly, so. And on this next page, I was trying to do a little drawing like contest with my sister, and it was like Halloween themed, so I drew this. it's not terrible, but at the same time, it's pretty terrible. And I drew it upside down, so in reality, it actually looks like that. Then on this next page, I was trying to draw 11 from Stranger Things, but it just didn't get finished. Now this page is one of my favorites because this was a really random day and I was kind of like, let's draw something. So I watched a video on how to draw a rose and I drew this gorgeous freaking rose. Do you see that? That is probably the most realistic thing that I've ever drawn. I love the depth that I put into it and I'm really proud of that stem too. Like that looks so realistic and I'm so proud of myself for that. Like, and then also for Thanksgiving this year we had like family and friends over and I went upstairs and I drew this. And then on the next page I also got bored. This is also on Thanksgiving and I swatched all of my colored pencils. And do we have anything past that? Yeah, we have one more thing in this sketchbook and I also drew this upside down and it's freaking scary, okay? I got really bored and I tried drawing in a different art style and clearly it didn't go well. So yeah, that was my entire sketchbook. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you did, give it a thumbs up, and yeah, subscribe if you like my personality, I guess. And yeah, see you guys in the future. Bye!